Suhail Chaktai is going to present this. Now, Suhail is a remarkable guy, and his team are a remarkable team. Suhail, as you can see, is an orthopedic surgeon. Now, what is an orthopedic surgeon doing on community engagement? Well, Suhail has been fascinated all his life, he'll tell you this, I'm sure, with how new media can help in medicine. And he's developed it, he'll tell you a bit about that, to actually help doctors link with each other. But his passion is how you get communities to link with each other as well. And so if you go to his premises, if you need medical advice, you go upstairs. And if you need to go on a community television, you go downstairs, where they have a studio, and they have a big auditorium, and they do a tremendous amount of work. And Suhail has a vision about internet TV, building bridges between communities, globally and in this country as well. I won't tell you any more because he can tell you it much better than me. So it's over to you, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody. And before I proceed, I really want to pay a tribute to the previous speaker. Photo speaks much powerful than video. It captures the moment which video cannot. So I'm really of the idea of the gentleman presenting before. Wonderful presentation he gave. What I'm going to talk about is basically slightly different. The passion generates from medical practice. I see my patients and I wanted to reach them a bit more in a communication, to improve the communication. So I set up remote clinics in north of Scotland when I started my consultant practice in '95. And that passion went on. I took Microsoft training for training doctors in IT, and which I've been doing for the last 12 years now, keeping my practice and then developing a few businesses. One of them is TVapex. Now, TVapex is what? It's basically passion transformed into a project of communication using high quality video after covering an event. We go to different culture events. We go there, we film their events, we put all the different cultures in one window. So while I'm watching my culture, I just have to click next button to watch what's happening in Turkish society. The Turkish watching that has to click one button down to see what's going in Lebanese society. So there's no push, it's a passive learning. And all the ambiguities, how do they live, how do they dress, how do they do, what they eat, how they enjoy, that'll be there in that one window. But before I go on to that, I must tell you what actually is important regarding its future, and why internet TV, I feel, is the need of the hour for developing strong communication and developing training modules. So I have limited time. I'm going to be touching just a few topics. What is the impact of digital media evolution on our life? I think you see it every day. Now you put USB in your car to listen to music. Okay, you have wireless mouse. I'm using one. So there's a lot of things which have changed in digital technology. MP3 files, no more CDs. CDs are dead. There used to be a cassette before that. So all these things are changing. And have you ever wondered where they end up? You're going to shake hand and exchange your contact details. That is next year. You wear a glove, you shake hand, it's being trialed, and you exchange the contact details. And more on that as well. So what are the big jumps? I think you remember that. Graphic user interface on a PC. Anybody who's older than me will also remember it more. There used to be no windows. No windows. Just you have to type copy.com xr*** to copy a file from a server or a hard disk onto your floppy. And the floppy, if you bend it, you lose it. And I remember that 5.25-inch floppy. I still remember I have to place it so delicately, just like that, and keep everything away from it, so it doesn't damage. It was only 312 kilobyte data after all this effort. And when I bought my first computer, 32 megabyte, I thought I would never fill it up. And now my little son has a USB drive of 64 GB, and he says it's not enough. I want to put my movies on that. So things have changed. Then 8.3 characters file names, that went away. It used to be some very meaningless name and then doc, something. Now you can put 256 characters in a name and make the files more meaningful. It was a big jump. I mean, there's a lot behind it. Knowing, I'm also a Microsoft certified specialist. I know what programming would have taken place behind this barrier to take it off. Then the CDs went away. I think that was a major jump. USB port came in. And then broadband internet arrival. That changed the whole thing. Voice over IP phones. I think the businesses in this country, 2 of them have flopped because of this. The video renting business has flopped because of Netflix and other companies, because they're streaming videos. You just press a button and you see the whole movie. You don't have to go out there. So this thing is affecting your lives. It's not there. It's going to come to you if you don't get prepared. If you're starting a business of video renting out and you're not aware what's available, you had it. So we need to know what's going on. This thing has made the telephone call so cheap. When I was training here back in '93, I used to call Pakistan in £2.75 a minute. And I used to save money to call Pakistan. And I used to remember, right, I'm going to talk this, I'm going to talk this, I've got 2 minutes to spend. And now it's 2 pence a minute, anywhere. It's free to America. People call in free. And that has exchanged communication, has improved the business so much. So there is an impact, a definite impact of this advancement of technology. And then smartphones. Now you carry your PC in your pocket. As Francis just walked in, he was showing you the streaming. He's carrying his computer in his pocket. And there is so much power now you carry with you. And now this is cloud-based computing. I've just converted one of my companies, medical legal professionals, into cloud, which means we don't need PCs anymore. We don't need people working 9 to 5 necessarily. They can access data by using a special password and reach wherever they want to. All your PCs will become terminals. There's no software, no big, huge software installed. You're just accessing the software up there in the cloud. Not up there, actually, it's down there. Very secure servers, but we call it cloud. But actually, it's down there in underground space with all the air conditioners and on. So things have changed. And ultra digital, I won't talk about that because this is just going to baffle your mind. I mean, you just walk into somebody, you say hi, and the contact details go. That thing is now going to be coming as well. You just say hi, or you have an eye contact and you blink thrice. You get the contact details transferred. So let's not talk about that. Doctors are using it too much. This is a transparent photochromatic wall. And you basically, this lady is picking up the wardrobe. She's gone to the wardrobe. She's chosen, I want to put blue. And she's drawn on the wall, and everything blue dress came up. And then she chose the dress, and she got a selection, and she can see how it looks like before she wears it on. And this is a classroom where the students have got transparent laptops, and the teacher is teaching on the big white glass wall. Doctors, this is a CT scan actually happening with doctor putting a hand across the brain and stopping where he wants to stop. And seeing the image live. And this is 2 surgeons discussing, a consultant discussing with the registrar across the photochromatic wall and MRI scan. So there's a lot happening. Now, moving on, where is the opportunity for us? I mean, I tell my kids, okay, you're getting so much troubles because of technology. Why not get benefits as well? There is so much radiation going on. So if we buy troubles, it's not worth living. We have to really get technology's advantage as well. So where is the opportunity for us? Once you plug that Ethernet cable into your system, into your home, you open the whole world for you, a new world for you. And that world has the opportunity, you can connect to people, you've never seen those people living far abroad, and you become good friends to them. So there is a real potential of communication, and the outreaching is just now really literally a keyboard away. Literally. In 2014, by the end of it, the aim is to get a trans-global internet transmission, which means wherever you walk, you have internet like oxygen in the air. You don't have to have a connection or buy internet. It's going to be there in the air like you breathe it. You walk across the border of a country, you change the network automatically. You're already living in internet. It'll be just around you. I'm sorry if I'm scaring you, but I see somebody just looking at me. No, it's just that I'm excited about it because there's opportunity in there. From the medical side, I see a lot happening. from my professional side, we are doing remote surgery, robotic surgery, people sitting here, operating in America. A lot of things. So now look at this. Comparison of broadband access at home, cell phone ownership, and internet usage by income brackets. The people who've got less income, even they can afford broadband at home. So it's for everybody. It's affordable. I saw an ad the other day in the newspaper in Metro, £5 per month with a high-speed internet available. So it's affordable. That means it's not something we're talking in the room and after that there is no discussion. Everybody can use it now. So there is a real potential of reaching to people because it's for commons as well. Now, what happens in one day in the internet? I think you probably will be scared. 2.4 billion internet users around the world right now. They're active, logged in users. 1/3 of the entire population uses internet. All those internet users get a lot done in a day. For example, in 1 second, I think day is too much, too long. 1 second, 2.8 million emails are sent right now. They're gone. So people have communicated 2.8 million opportunities. And that figure is authentic. 333 new Tumblr posts are made. I don't know what that is. Tweets. Now tweets, again, they're very powerful means of communication. You walk and you just hear the message. And I think mini revolutions have been brought by tweets and Facebooks. And I think one of them you're already familiar with, which happened last year. Facebook was one of the, I would say, a factor behind propagation. It's a good thing and bad things as well. So now in 1 minute, around 700,000 Google searches. That means people are interested to know what's going on. They're looking for information. So 700,000 people in 1 minute would be looking for information. So there is an opportunity there. 600 videos are uploaded to YouTube in 1 minute. That's a lot. And there are 320 new Twitter accounts being made in 1 minute. Now, in 1 hour, it goes further. 10.5 million pictures are uploaded to Facebook, only to one site. And iPhone apps are being downloaded. 4,200 new domains are registered, which means people are still expanding out. They're making websites. What is a website? It's like a digital card. Like, I think I went to places where people say, I don't have cards. You can visit me on this website, 1234.com, like this. And it was much more easier for me to carry a card. I could just write it down on a mobile phone. So people are using websites as they're visiting cards. So in 1 day, 98 years worth of YouTube videos are being uploaded. The whole quantity of videos getting onto YouTube will run for 98 years if you put them end to end. That kind of information we're talking here. And 172 million different people, they visit Facebook. So there is enormous power. I mean, if you want to use it for business, for social networking, for positive reasons, there are many opportunities. But if you have this news, it's a bad news nowadays. People say, well, take my water away for some time, but don't take my internet away. I think I heard somebody saying that I can miss a food session, lunch or dinner, but please don't take my internet. I can afford that, but not internet. So, where is the opportunity? Let's pick up on one opportunity, community education. We can go beyond traditional style, beyond this style. Now, this seminar is being reached through our streaming across the world. So, that means you have to stay smiling and look good. It's being seen, and that's an opportunity. So that's an opportunity for you to say something and be heard. You can't take it lightly. You have to really, if you have a message, you have now a medium to be international. That's how it sums up. So through computer, you can exchange messages and a lot of things. I think I don't need to go into detail of that. The benefit of this is it doesn't require your time constraint. This is a real advantage if you're working 9 to 5, but you want to develop a special skill After feeding your kids, going to bed, you have 7 to 10 to 11, 1 hour of training. So it's your time. You can choose when you want to learn. And that is the advantage. You carry your classroom with you on a mobile phone nowadays. I think in cars now you have high-speed internet. I think in London Underground at the terminals you also have Wi-Fi at many of them. So you can pick up on messages there as well. Now the best education sites in America, they have internet as an integral part of their training module, which means they're using internet to have their rating go higher. So there is a real potential for internet-based training. For example, what they discovered was that a national adult average would use internet for 75% of time, whereas a college person will use for 99%. So there's a hardly little difference. Now imagine that if you can tap that resource to train that person as well. Give him the opportunity, attract him, because he's already using the medium, but he's not at the right place. If you direct him, he's using time, 75% of time, let's find him a source where he finds comfortable to get there and learn. And that is one of the reasons why, because he may find it, he may be horrified, how would I log in? So some people say, I don't know how to log in. It is so simple, we have to take the barrier away by reaching out them. And look at this internet, wireless internet. 92% in college, but because it is slightly more expensive, so not everybody gets there. But this is where the whole strength lies. If people are already on the bus is moving. They will reach there, but we have to show them the direction. And the medium of training people are using is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and many others. And you can see the names, Harvard University and Virginia University, Florida, they're all using internet. Look at the numbers. I mean, Harvard University, they are the leading universities, and they have considered using internet as one of their tools to provide education. They have internet-based classes. They have classes after 2 hours after main class for you to catch up. If you missed it, you can still go back. This webinar, for example, can be rewound and can be listened back. I think I'll just move on to the last part, which is basically the product which I've designed, and I want to actually share it with you. Why is this product, I feel, can help educate community. For example, am I connected still? Yeah. Now this window you see here on the showing now side has various programs which are being filmed by my team. So my team goes out, they film an event, they edit it, and they put it on TVapex, and that goes here. And you can see multi-community effects here. I probably scrolled it down for you. Yeah, there are different programs, and they range from education to entertainment. So edutainment. They can be serious debates, or they can be very light-hearted programs. And if you want to go back, they will be all under different categories. Once the program is there for 1 month, it goes back into its own category. As you can see, that after staying in showing now window for 1 month, it goes back into category, so people can go back onto that, watch it again. It's like an online CV of that organization, that what they did on that event, like a little summary. So it promotes organizations, it promotes individuals, it educates people, and it makes sure that it's not, I mean, this is an SSL, a secure server recording, which means it's very difficult to download and save. So you've got copyrights more protected than other third-party users. So this is what I really want to present to you, that I'd like to take questions on this one, that if you want to develop a channel, what will be your motive and what will scare you off? Let's say if you want to develop a web channel, if you don't have already one, do you have anything in mind that you want to say to people, to the world, to the community? Yeah? Anybody wants to develop a web channel? Yeah? You got...
The technical issue.
Yeah. So the technical side stops you.
Yeah.
What do you think is difficult?
It's understanding it. I think it's probably more than it is, and it's just me taking the time to understand it.
I think if you have a motive, if you have a purpose to communicate, that is a great start. Okay, I want to say this, and I want to say this why. If you decide that, the rest is technology, you can take help, and I suggest you should start a web channel on a piece of paper. This is what I want. Make it like a PowerPoint presentation. These are my topics. I want to do that. I want to involve people who can say or feel the same and have a dialogue. And technology-wise, I think if you have a webcam, maybe that's a good start. Start with a webcam and go to any of the free domains who can provide you a space. You can try it out. If it works, then buy the space.
Meaningful stuff people watch though. I mean, that's the thing that takes a lot of the capacity, isn't it? It's all well and good that technology, it's accessible. It's creating content that is engaging.
I mean, you can create content in 3 ways. First of all, you can sit in a room, have a webcam in front of you, and start giving lectures. If you're interesting enough, you'll develop an audience. The second thing is, we have a studio here. I show you that studio. You don't have to have a studio, but if you have a studio, it gives you an extra advantage to create programs. For example, we have an auditorium which is like that. It's 80-seat capacity, and this is actually video conferencing, live streamed, everything covered and connected. Once you're sitting there, you're being watched. So this is one way you can create content, or you can have a boardroom, video conferencing boardroom. This is our studio. Or you can have actually a TV studio where you can stream live and create programs. And the green color is to replace with virtual studios. As you see in some other TV channels, you see big screens. Basically, it's a green wall where we overlay the chromatic studios. So you can have these things if you want to do more meaningful and strong content. The third way to create content is go and film events. Take your camera, make short documentaries that I want to show this particular part of the program, and share it under a special tab. For example, kids' birthday parties, or festivals of a particular culture, or weddings, or traffic in London at 9 o'clock in the morning. The patterns on Monday till Friday. Find a topic, develop a channel, and then diversify. You will find audience following you. You will.
I should say, would you like to mention some of your ideas that you talked about to me about how internet TV can be used to build bridges between communities by getting communities together with different cameras, by global education, and some of the ideas that you're developing, which I think are really interesting.
I think what currently we're doing is we have a very clear plan for the next 2 years, and one of the idea is to develop a free education portal. People who want to learn advanced skills, but they have no means to do so because of poverty, or because they are not able to travel to countries where this facility is available, but they have internet. They have cheap internet available in their countries. We want to have people here who can deliver education in mathematics, science, and English language, and put the lectures there so we can take them across the world. That's one. The other thing is to develop focus groups in different communities in England, where people sitting in one community in that corner of England and some people sitting in the auditorium you saw, we can connect them with as little effort. They can be talking to each other without reaching out, without actually traveling. They will be communicating. So we'll be showing it live, and we'll be taking feedback on that live as well. So people who want to ask questions, they're not there at both locations, their question will be rolling here. And then the moderator of the conference can pick up the question, Mr. So-and-so asking from North London, the question is addressed to this studio. So we can create dialogues. Once we create dialogues, we engage people. Once we engage people, there's an opportunity to educate people. Don't you all agree with that? this scenario works. Rather than saying, well, you have to learn it because you have to live your life, you have to do that, there's no way. Let's create an opportunity for people to meet. And this is one of the scenarios. I think I'm very thankful to Francis Seeley that he's been really very, very supportive of the idea. And I think it's a great motivation to me that I don't feel lonely anymore when he's around. He has actually given me good direction, I would say. Maybe I was thinking a little bit erratic on these topics, but he has shown me the idea to what will work, hopefully. So yes, we have the technology, we have the means, and we have traveled to reach a point where we can deliver. And we will deliver.
We've done actually two things. I mean, apart from today, we've done two things which will help. We want to do quite a few more, but we did. I don't know if you know Jo Berry, who was the daughter of Anthony Berry, who got killed in the Brighton bombing in the 1980s. Anthony Berry got killed, and his daughter was so traumatised by the killing that she wanted to make sense of it. So she went in search of the man who set the bomb, Patrick McGee. She found him, and they became friends. And since then, they've been working for peace and reconciliation. We did a meeting with both of them, which was an incredible meeting. I mean, it was a highly emotional meeting. And Suhail's wonderful crew came and filmed it, and we're about to put that out on the internet channel as a way in which communities that have been through trauma, people who've been through trauma, there is reconciliation. So that whole sort of restorative justice concept is one way that we can use it. We also did a meeting in the House of Commons about why the rich get away with it and the poor always have to pay. We took two people into the studio in Suhail's studio, and we did a take-off of Have I Got News For You, called it Have I Got Tax For You, in which we have four people doing a sort of Have I Got News For You, but with humour and with depth as well. And we're editing that, and we're going to launch that in the House of Commons on April the 21st, 22nd, I can't remember which date, with Austin Mitchell there speaking, and also using it to say how the new media is changing the traditional media, and what is the relationship between them. And then the third thing is, we're talking to Suhail about two things. One is the education thing that we want to move on, but also the idea of what he called focus groups, how you can bring communities together, how you get interfaith, into community, intercultural dialogue. And if we can find some pilots around that, and you may have some ideas that you can mail us on if you would like to be involved in that, if we can find ways of doing that, it could be really interesting development. It's all early days, and it's all in the sort of idea gesticulation stage, which is of course the exciting stage. But if we can move that on, I think we could do some really, really interesting things.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being very patient. Thank you.
Importantly for me is, it's not just about coffee table books or nice exhibitions. Unless we're advocating for that change and seeing that change, and the communities who we're working with actually saying something change about their situation, it only ends up being a nice photograph. And that's not enough for us, actually. We want to see that it's more than that. Because unless it does change lives, even if it is a contribution to changing those lives along with the policy makers, the policy writers, for that matter, the policy report writers, the community workers, the councillors, or whoever, at least we can say we were contributing to something, to that process of change.
I have a business called Caffeinated Project. We're an internet consultancy, and what makes us a little bit different is we go a lot further than just building websites for people. We like to take the internet into the real world. Some of the things we've done in the past, one big project we did over in Liverpool last year was connecting a lighthouse to Twitter. So that during the Lighthouse Festival we had a display around the top of the lighthouse monitoring the tweets of people that were in the area and displaying them scrolling around the top. On a smaller scale, on events like this, we've had bubble blowers set up monitoring when people are checking in on Foursquare or when they're tweeting certain phrases, and it just gets a real interactivity between what's going on.
So I'm going to talk today about personal learning networks. I work a lot with teachers and lecturers and trainers and people of that sort. And they do seem to have taken to using personal learning networks very energetically. And so what do we mean really by a personal learning network? It's everyone with whom you have contact, or who can help you to learn and improve your professional practice, or perhaps your own interests. So that's what I mean by personal learning network.
We've come to the end of the day. It's been a fast-packed day. We organised it that way for this particular seminar because we wanted to cover a wide area to look at a wide area of possibilities. What we'd like you to do is fill in the feedback form. Feedback form is just a normal tick box, which is not always entirely helpful. What would be more helpful, in a way, is if you felt that there's something we didn't cover. You know, if you have a day, there's always things you don't cover. What did we miss out? What would you have liked that we didn't do? What could we do in the future? That would help us because we want to develop a series of seminars and webinars as well. We've got some webinars coming up, as I said, and you're welcome to come on those and I'll let you know about those. But if you can let us know about any feedback you've got about how we can improve what we're doing, if you feel there's a subject that is of so pressing importance that it really ought to be addressed by us in a seminar of some kind, we'd love to know that. And that really would be very, very helpful. Also, take all the information people have given you, including our own stuff, and you can go to the net, and that will tell you how you can contact us. If you want to actually work with us more in developing ideas, developing projects, and trying to see how we can engage more in this exciting adventure of muddling through, as I said earlier, towards getting a more digital form and a more modern form of community engagement in an age where we know people want to do it. We know the political system that we're in has failed them in many ways in terms of that engagement, but it's an exciting time because there's so much going on that I'm fairly optimistic about the future. And if we can sort of tag on to that, I think we've got a pretty good future. I'm glad I've reached my age and I'm still an optimist. It's quite a good thing. Anyhow, thank you. I want to thank everyone who's been involved in this, Maxine for helping develop this, Ian and Andy for coming down and for doing what they did, Mark and the others who actually worked on this, Suhail and his crew at the back for developing this, and to the local government information unit and developing this with us and putting it on here. But most of all, thank you for coming and joining us today. It's been great. Thanks.
Found today's session, particularly the afternoon, very helpful indeed, giving some of the tools that we need to engage with our communities. We found the video session which taught us about how to film and how to take videos very helpful. Some of the information given on webinars and how to use photographs very helpful indeed. We had about 35 people in here and a lot of people answering and asking questions, and yes, a bit tired, but it's been worth the trip up.
I thoroughly enjoyed today's event. It was fast-paced. I was amazed by the quality of the speakers that we heard from, and I look forward to coming to these events again.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ordaniez. I'm from Wyre, which is in the northwest of the UK. I work for a council. I work in policy and performance, and I came here today to understand a bit more about engagement with communities through social media, through TV, and I've not been disappointed. It's been exceptionally good. The speakers have been fantastic. I've got a lot of food for thought. It's actually sort of stirred my passion in taking it further, because I think there's a lot more to do with our communities. We do a lot of community engagement and successful, but I think there's more people to reach out there, and I think the key thing for me today is about how it's empowering communities to actually do some of that stuff themselves rather than thinking we're going to do it for you. And it's actually building skills and helping people to realise that actually they can start businesses themselves and do this kind of thing and communicate at the same time, and information is power and knowledge, and it's been a fantastic day. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I think it went very well. I think the day ran smoothly. We had to pack a lot into it, so it was very quick and very fast. And when you do something like that, I think you please a lot of people, but you also create some dissatisfaction as well, in the sense you haven't covered everything. So I think what we learned today is that there's a lot more to do, and I hope we develop this and further this by following it up with subsequent events which covers those areas.